guys, in this video we are going to be doing a review of my Hoover Legacy model, I forget. U4537-930, 7.3 amps, takes a style A bag. The belt is the 38528-027. This one was made on July of 1996, I believe. Because I know, or no, maybe it was made 1990 or 1990. I don't really know, but made in USA for household use only. Although a lot of people use these for commercial use. The tabs on mine under here are broken, so you just kind of gotta pray that it won't fall off. But back to where I would normally start a review. So on the top, you got 4 carpet height settings, 1, 2, 3, 4. After time, these things will start popping off. Mine pops off. They're meant to, but after time, they'll start falling off super easily, like mine does now. So, just, if it does pop off, put it back on there. And then 5 is cleaning tools. That diverts all of this section to the hose, and I'll show you that because the only good way to show that is once we get to the bottom. Cleaning effectiveness per amp. This is weird, I don't really get it, but 19.0. One thing I've noticed with this machine is all these stickers are kind of like crooked. This one is very, like, way too far to the right. See that gap where you can see the green, and then over here you can't, and it's like kind of folding up onto this part that rises. And then this one, if you look closely, is further to the left. So this one's further to the right, this one's further to the left. That's why at first glance it doesn't look too messed up. So. It's got a Hoover logo there, furniture friendly width, because it is like it's like the perfect width. You don't need much narrower than this, you don't need much wider really. Uses only 7.3 amps. Yeah, you think the 8 amps that Bissells and Eureka's and Dirt Devils use now, you think that's small? It only gets smaller as you get older. You get into collecting older and older vacuums. For example, well, this one's got the 7.3. The Hoover Caddy Vac has a 7.2. This CleanView has a 10 amp. It would normally have a 12 amp. 12. This Hoover convertible here, 4.5 amps. And some of these, this one here goes as low as 4.5 amps as well. That Dirt Devil has a 7 amp. And then, of course, some of the really small vacuums still have the small little ones. You can see this one is in very good shape. On top, there is some scratching, but I only paid $35 for this technically, so it's not horrible. It was only expensive because of the shipping price, so this was $35 for the vacuum itself and $35 shipping. It's $70 total. Same with my Hoover Caddy Vac, which is from the same seller. That one was $35 and $35 as well. So not too bad of a deal. I mean, $70 for one of these is a little spendy, but is better than what most people are trying to sell them for with no attachments. This one doesn't have any attachments either, but you can see my sticker is already falling off, and I've thought about, you know, taking it off completely and maybe reseating it this way, trying to center it up, but yeah. See, these Legacies have a really funky base design. And this is a belt vent. It's just so that air can vent out there too. And it kind of just helps keep the belt cool. Back here, this is where your screw runs through. The holds the two halves together. Let me turn my flashy on. As can see, it starts there, goes through the body, and comes out here along with that nut. I can see on mine here, you might see some of this silicone. That's actually silicone adhesive because these, this part that you can take off to service your fan, it gets brittle over time, and I don't like torquing down these screws too much, so I put some silicone adhesive on there so that the silicone adhesive can do some of the work as well. Therefore, I have the, you know, don't have to worry about tightening up the screws, because I always fear that when I tighten up these screws, this spot right here is going to crack. So these screws actually aren't that tight. It's just the silicone adhesive doing the work. Plus, it's more quiet with the silicone adhesive. It's ABS plastic, very strong plastic. Let's see, this is the base in there. Obviously, it gets dusty with these direct airs. Oh, I suppose I'm going to flash on that. You guys can see the belt in there. But yeah, you can see they just get dusty. They're not that's not even really dust. It's just this plastic that looks weird. But it's got wheels. Yeah, it does. Alright. It's got a 23-foot cord, which was kind of the average for vacuums back then. Actually, no, it wasn't. Usually they were smaller. To assure maximum performance, use only genuine Hoover filters and bags. I don't think this has any filter. Or it says Hoover filter bags. I thought it said filters and bags. This is like the caddy for the attachments over here. This is where you can put a spare belt. And then all your other attachments, dusting brush, upholstery tool, crevice tool. This and the caddy vac are $70. The caddy vac came with a dusting brush and crevice tool. This one didn't come with any attachments, but it did come with the hose. I wouldn't have bought it if it didn't come with the hose. The hose you can leave connected if you would like. I do. As you can see here, it's a very nice quality hose. They're not like amazingly stretchy or anything, but God, are they well built. Like, these hoses are really hard to find, and if you do find them, they're going to be expensive because of the fact that they're so well built. And the reason you can't find them much is because people are willing to hang on to them because, you know, say they get one of these machines, doesn't have a hose, they can put one of these hoses on there and sell the machine for more. That guy, if he tried selling this thing for $70 without the hose, that would have kind of changed everything. This doesn't have any spring to it anymore. But yeah, that's down in there. Technically, this is supposed to fling forward and fling back, but it's just kind of, the spring is actually broken, that's why. But at least what was happening before is it wouldn't stay here. The spring was taking it back to the point where it wouldn't stay here. So at least now, if I didn't have the hose on it, at least it would stay. Okay, but yeah, you can put a spare belt here. I suppose I could demonstrate. You guys know I don't use factory recommended belts. I kind of just use whatever I have. Let's see, this is the belt that was on my Hoover whole house too. That one right there. Because it doesn't use the flat belts anymore. So basically you just wrap that like that. See, this belt is stretched out, so it's not going to work, but basically it would just cling on to these two pegs. This belt is completely shot, but for some reason I won't get rid of it because, I don't know, owning a Hoover J belt or a Eureka style J belt is kind of rare because they're kind of hard to find now. Because only a few machines used them. This little cord clip that broke off my Eureka Lightspeed. I'm not even sure how she managed to do it, but did it. It would just go on like that. I could try gluing it on. This is the hose for the whole house here. But yeah, and then for me, I do have an extension wand on it. It's just a generic one that I had laying around. Yeah. And then this is Eureka Bravo extension wand that I shoved in this little square section. It's not damaging anything. It's just sitting in there. Oh, the alarm is kind of gross in here. But yeah, I just have it shoved in here. See, it's like a little tab area. I think this is where you put a spare extension wand, but I don't know. I just use it to hold my dusting brush because my dusting brush won't fit where they want you to put it, so. But this is the vacuum of the week currently, so I wanted to have some of the attachments on board for my sister. So basically this just slides into this little notch here. So yeah, the release pedal. There. Obviously, you got your cord. This you can move. This one is fixed. This is where the switch would have been on, because they just used the same centerpiece that the Elites used and the Soften lights, so they just put a little mold right there and just ran it up to where they wanted it. I love these older Hoovers. I don't care what the switch is, no matter what. I don't care if it's even one that didn't option with a hose. I just like these ones. This is the stair cleaning handle. So basically you just put one of your hands up here and put one hand here and kind of hold it right here and just glide it on your stairs, and then you can use the power of the floor head to clean your stairs. So yeah, but just trust that that screw is not going to come undone. I have a hard time trusting it, but I've never actually had it happen the few times that I have used a stair cleaning handle on one of these. I won't do it on this, but yeah. And then you see we got a zipper over here. Be careful with these zippers if you have one of these. I have a little foam thing with a disinfectant wipe wrapped around it because this thing kind of didn't have a bad smell. It had like a basement smell when I first got it, so I just put a wet disinfectant wipe in here and a piece of foam that I sprayed a bunch of cologne on so that when I use this thing, it wouldn't smell like a freaking damp, gross basement. Yeah, I can see it. I just put it right in that little black channel there. Just like that. And then, this is a Hoover Y bag. It's meant to take an A bag, but it's the same collar. So I just put a Hoover Y bag in there. You just gotta make sure you don't vacuum up too much heavy things with it, because the whole difference is the Y bag's shorter, because the vacuums that the Y bag goes in, it would have this support. There's no support. So I do have one A bag, but it's super papery and it leaked a lot of dust. And this bag is in gorgeous condition, and I do not want to wreck it. So. See, it's got this nice green, bluish color. It's like a sea green, sea blue. Some kind of color you would see in the ocean, I think. It's like a mossy green. Filters it down to 5 microns. I don't even know if that's true, because this zipper probably leaks a shit ton. Same with up here and stuff. You can see the plastic on this thing surprisingly cleans up really nicely. Like all the plastic on it is just looking super nice. My sister likes to put this on whatever the vacuum of the week is. I don't know why. She's just weird. But yeah. Now this thing doesn't have a smell. I don't know why I put that foam thing back in there, but yeah. So it's not as soft and light, but it's got like the same material, so it is soft. And yeah, you see it's got Hoover Legacy printed on there. Energy efficient, which it is. I'm pretty certain that this thing probably pulls a decent bit less of electricity compared to the 12 amps. But obviously these days, the way our bills are read up, like we have two houses. One of them we bought to flip, and we are never there. And the water bill over there is the same as the water bill here, and we live here. Don't live there. None of us go over there. The water is actually shut off to that house, yet the water bill comes out to the same price. So, or no, probably not the same, but it still reads up. So, like it usually still comes out to a certain pay per month, even though we didn't use any water at all. So, you know, it kind of sucks. The cheapskates are just, you know, I'm sure you guys have watched some of the cheapskate videos on YouTube. How dead set they are on not using too much water, but like the way this world is now, it's not even worth being cheap. When it comes to buying food and stuff, food is expensive, so you want to watch it on that. But so with this, I don't even think, is there screws in there? No. See these wheels ride on metal axles, where if you bend this plastic out, you can pop these wheels and their axles out. But if you're wanting to lubricate them, I would just get some liquid wrench or WD-40, spray some back in there. God, look how dirty it is. Gotta get some, gotta get some compressed air. That's not even like oil mixed with dirt, that's just dirt from the original owners. I can only clean so much using my hands. You know, I can't really get back in here that well. This brush roll is in pretty bad shape, but I got it spinning quite nice. That sound is just the motor. These older motors make a lot of noise. So basically, I have greased the end bearing in here where the belt is of the motor. The inner bearing you have to do quite a bit of work to get to, so I didn't worry about that, but I did grease the end bearing. Some people will be like, well, what's the point if you're not going to do the other one? I do what I'm capable of. What I do, what I know I can do without messing it up. So, yeah. I cannot promise anybody. Is that a screw hole? Would I be able to put a screw through there to hold this base plate on? Oh, anyways, as you can see, tabs, or actually that tab is kind of, oh no, it's pretty much broken. And this side is completely gone. But yeah, this takes a Hoover something belt. I will give the seller this. The price that he was asking for these, they both came with new bags and they both came with brand new belts. So, and this is what I was talking about with the hose. So, this is just all your other height adjustments. So right now, I'm adjusting the wheels. Adjusting the wheels right now. But now, we've made contact with this white thing. So now we are disengaged from the wheels, and it moves it over there. Now this is obviously not perfect. It's definitely gonna leak some air around it. But yeah, you can see there's the hose right up in there. Now a lot of you guys are probably thinking, why would you leave the hose connected? Now you're gonna be getting suction through the hose and to the floor. It's actually not the case, because as long as this is on here, the fan is going to want to go to the more easy to go location. It's gonna pull it from here. I've tried it before. I've had it on the, you know, just wheels adjusted. I'm like, oh, can I still vacuum carpet with my hose connected? And no suction was going to the hose whatsoever. So, yeah. See, this base plate's actually not in the worst of condition. Nothing's broken on this, just the tabs that hold it on are broken. Luckily, these tabs up here are at least somewhat holding on for dear life. Let's see if I wanna. There. I got that pretty broken tab to work. This side's still kind of loose hanging though. That's alright. But yeah, that's how the thing works. Just a little piece of plastic up in there. Got some rust. But yeah, this motor's in good shape. The inner bearing is probably okay. It's probably dry, yes, but I can't get to it. I don't know how. So I did what I do know how to do, and I greased the end bearing, which is full of parts. Only don't feel right. No, I think that's just my on-level floor. Yeah. The end bearing was super bad. I don't know about the inner bearing, but I even posted a video of what the end bearing was like on this, so I did do something by packing grease into that end bearing because it was dry as sand. It sounded like there was sand in it too, so I'll give this thing a little run for you guys. Nothing too major. Just a little run. Might be on. Nope. This is the vacuum of the week, so that grease is gonna be nice and warmed up. This is the Clean View filters after the review of it. Yes, I know that review didn't get the filters very dirty at all, but ooh, they smell really nice now. This one still feels a little damp. This one's good. And this one goes in. I have this like piece of a shirt here to try and catch anything that this foam doesn't catch, because I noticed that there was a lot of sand getting by this foam. So I started putting that shirt there, or a piece of an old shirt that I had. And this piece of foam just sits in there. Sometimes the shirt gets in the way. Look at that, mate. Looks brand new. Still need to wash the cyclone piece on this. How clean this thing turned out. Yeah, especially this bottom window. That cleaned up really nice. Sucks that the base is falling apart. I'll probably sell it. But yeah, I'm not even going to use it on the carpet. My mom's trying that, but I will turn it on for you guys, so that you guys can get an idea of what it sounds like now that the bearings have been greased. So the wind down is still pretty long, but I know my vacuum, and that sounds 10 times better than it used to. So, like, you used to be able to hear that bearing, and I never used to know how to do the motor bearings, and now I know that comparing this motor to the motors on some of my newer plastic machines, I guess this is plastic, but my newer, like, Chinese-made machines, this is actually a very nice motor to work on. These newer vacuums, like my Victory, my Lightspeed, my Smart Vac, you cannot do shit on those motors. And this one, the bearings, you just pop out that little sealed cap. You can see the ball bearings. You pack some grease in there with your finger, and it's gonna run better. And I learned that by watching VacLab's videos, and yeah, thank you, VacLab. But yeah, it's a pretty nice machine. I do not regret this purchase. Most vacuum collectors don't regret any purchases as long as they work. But vacuum to vacuum is for vacuum collectors. I would take a Phantom. I don't like Phantoms, especially Europros, but technically Europros and Phantom Twisters are just older versions of that thing, which this thing cleaned up super nice as well. Still got to take apart the power head to clean it, but it's not anything too major. I found out you have to pop the wheels out, the little wheels in front of the head, to get to some screws that are hidden, so that's why the base wasn't coming apart. But yeah, my clean view here, which I'm gonna wash the abandoned stuff on. Yep, I love this thing so much. That is too dirty for me. So almost every time I use this thing, I wash everything. I don't wash the filters every time. I usually just vacuum them out, but in this case I did because why not? It was sheetrock dust, so because we've been sanding a lot lately, and even if you can't see it, it's everywhere. So yeah, and this is all gonna have to be wiped out. And one thing I love about these clean views, at least these little ones, turn that thing, boom. You can take this thing out and wash it as well. Yep. Still don't know what that little thing is. I think it's like a suction release thing. I'm not sure. It kind of reminds me of like a DC-14 suction release. Ooh, my hose is kind of dirty, but it's too hard to take off. I mean, it's not. Ow, 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 that actually hurt. You can actually see it already doesn't seal up too nicely. See how it's popping out right there? So I don't want to take it off. So we'll just leave it. That also looks pretty clean, so we're not going to worry about that. Then this will all just be vacuumed out, wiped down real quick. Yeah. Headlight lens doesn't look too bad. There's not even a headlight anymore, so. I suppose. Wash that piece too. But yeah. I've painted a lot of the screws on this machine. You can actually see the reflection on this. I'm like, how come they can see two screws? But yeah. Yeah, no, it's just the reflection of the plastic doing that. God, that looks so real. But that is just... It's actually kind of trippy. But yeah. I've painted a lot of the screws on this. I think I did the color match pretty horribly. But all the screws were so rusted, and even after wet sanding them, they look really bad, so I just decided to paint them, have some fun. And they don't look that bad. And then also, with this V2, you guys might remember that I used to have the hose, like a blue color. Well, I painted it black again, so. And also, all the screws on the back were blue, so I just repainted them black, tried to make it look original. I just painted over the blue with some matte black, because I couldn't get all the blue off to reveal the original black, so. Whoa, snow, yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more.